Tsongkapa Chomden
Jevo Lojombo Yondobo Zobe Jevo Don Jotsu Demo Dewa Sheba Dewe Kalo Jevo Lanomi Ladomu Noje Dembo Sanje Jode Bejawo Jojo Dubo Lo Jotse Lo Chodo Jozo Jewo Zo che dang ze sa chen de na gong pa de bo ne ma ne je de de na jo je song de ce ge ba che la cha ce lo na da ge cho do zo zang wa ye she ja zo se je ne bo da ba je de so na la nge wa gong pa chu ni che la cha ce lo Senjo de ma zhen Sendo zhang che la chang zhen lo Le re je zha si ba song ma ji Nya me che jen cha la chang zhen lo Gong pa tu je che den ba Tang che chen bin den ba bo Sa na yin den jia zo che De jen she la chang zhen lo Ta bin de cha zhe wan je Ge ye ge song le zhu xin Ji du de dang chu zhe ba Xin je che la chang zhen lo Zhe ne zhe ye la yang den La ba da la ro du ne Xin ge dang ba yin den den Gen de la yang sha zhen lo De ba je yang mu jia xin Ge wa bi song zu ba xin Rang ge sen ne yong su de De ne sang je den ba yi Ma me dang je ma se a che bo dang Me na lo da zhen da bu De xe che na de da da Se na de ye dang che zi ba ye Go pa da ne chen chen zha de de Ga da na da che we la zhu we Se be co len zhou wan zhe wan yo.
Thus I have heard. At one time the Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of Vulture Peak Mountain with a great gathering of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time the Blessed One was absorbed in the samadhi of the many aspects of phenomena called profound appearance. At the same time, Noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva, looking at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, saw the five skandhas and their natural emptiness. Then, through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to the Noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva, how should a son of a lineage trained who wishes to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the Noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva answered the Venerable Shariputra with these words. Shariputra, those men and women of the lineage who wish to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look at it like this. The five skandhas should be seen purely in their natural emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form also is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, recognition, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are emptiness, and having no characteristics, they are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no recognition, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no phenomena. There is no quality of sight, and so on, until no quality of mind and no quality of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no exhaustion of ignorance, and so on, up to no old age and death, and no exhaustion of old age and death. In the same way, there is no suffering, no origin, no ending, and no path. No wisdom, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, since there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide by means of the profound perfection of wisdom. And since their minds have no obscurations, they have no fear. Transcending falsity, they attain nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times have relied upon the perfection of wisdom, and have become true and complete Buddhas of unsurpassable, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the profound perfection of wisdom, the mantra of insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering should be known as truth, for it is not deceptive. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Teata om gate gate paragate parasam gate bodhi soha. Shariputra, this is how a Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One rose from that samadhi and said to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, noble Avalokiteshvara, that he had spoken well. Well done, O son of the lineage, it is so. O son of the lineage, since it is just so, the profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will also rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Sharadvati Putra and noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva and the entire gathering, as well as worldly beings, gods, humans, asuras, and Gandharvas, rejoiced and praised the words of the Blessed One.
Kanda sebe tsara mare me don donge chizebe lozo gela puji daze yana chuje yande son doda che do nyemo nyelo leje jado chuje che mare me se donge nyongo Jenye jenze redona Lene daje saje daze Yede lezo jase toyengo Jodon jenye jenje dale meze Jambe yanande Ora bazanande Ora bazanande, ora bazanande, zede jeje chera bezenje, dale demo me barasene, kada denje jon lo baye, lo de bobe no. Dang Guru Ra Nere La Naya Daya Mi Daya Nama Rinpoche Dagi Shu Bin Di Di Ju La Ka Jin Chen Bi Gu Ne Ju Zun De Gu Zun Tu Je Ngu Zhu Zi Du Su Bin Zu Ge Le She Yue Jun Bi Gu Ta Yue Zhu Yue Re Wa Kong Yue Song Ma Le Xie Jia Ji Jin Si Bi Du Xiao Ji Zu Wu De La Su Wa De Du Ji Qian Bu Di Xi Du Ji Chang Jiu Zi De Lu Ba Da Na Ru Ba Bi Ba Da A Di Sha Yang Li Xin Lo Ji La Su Wa De Xiang Ba Tong Mi Yi Ni Na Zhi De Chu De Di Yue De Dang Zha Bi Bi Se Zang Ge Sa Le Ni Su Lin Ba Jia Jin Shi Bi Ji La Su Wa De Yang Yuan Yu Mi Shun Jin Lu Zhu Dang Da Wan Zha Ba Zhi Bi Ku Ju Qi Sang Ji Gu Ju Ba Ba Ya Se Su Sa Ma Da Yue Ji La Su Wa De Ni Zhu Dang Bi Chou Nga A Di Sha Ka Dang Din Bi Min Bong Zhong Den Ji Ni Ju Na Ji Gu Qi Song La Su Ka Dang Na Ma Na La Su Wa De Gang Ji Xin Di Zi Je Tsongkapa Ma Do Ri Bi Wang Shu Je Ca Je Dang An Din Bi Da Bo Ki Zhu Ji Ya Zi Ju Ba Je La Su Wa De Jie Wang De Na Ma Do Ji Chang Gang La Gang Di Xin Yin Cui Zong Nian Ni Mu Mu Zhu Zhen Zi Bi Zhen Jie La Ma Na La Su Wa De Rang Jiang Su Ro Gen La Da Ye Mi Ge Zang Da Ba Zhi Bi Zhong E Qiu Zi Yue Zhi Bi Da Gen Zi Ba Yi Sun Zi Xin Ni Na La Su Wa De Jie Wo Gun Du Yang Da Na Ma Dang Zhe Mi Qu Ju Bi La Long Xue Jin Sa Dang Nang Ji Yun Den Ra Zu Den Do Ji Chang Ge Gu Yun Da Xiu Sang Ji Chu Dang Zu Ji Chu Na La Du Da Ni Jia Su Jin Da Ge Chi Chi Ji Bi Zu Na Ji Zhuo La Pin Xie Sang Jin Zhu Ba Xiu Sang Jie Chu Dang Chu Na La Xiang Qiu Ba Du Da Ni Jia Su Jin Da Ge Chi Chi Ji Bi Zu Na Ji Zhuo La Pin Xie Sang Jin Zhu Ba Xiu Sang Jie Chu Na La Xiang Qiu Ba Du Da Ni Jia Su Jin Da Ge Chi Chi Ji Bi Zu Na Ji Zhuo La Pin Xie Sang Jin Zhu Ba Xiu 당한 저 최제로 와서는다. 최제서나 갈라고 그러지.
So we're supposed to be here together and to practice Dhamma. So what is meant by practicing Dhamma? What kind of idea that you may have practicing Dhamma?
나 남하게 최제된데 대리소년 최제도 다그 말했었나다.
So now here, when it comes to the practice of the Dharma, and compared to the practicing of the Dharma in ancient time, so now the practice of Dharma is slightly different.
Nanghama Moncho Achi Kongshi Chijachen and Chuchen and Rondo or Loy Shujina, Kongshi Chijachen, Paju Pujini.
So, in the past, the practicing of the Dharma has taken like a tradition. It is like a part of their custom. So their practice is very much based on the following the custom of their past.
Paju Pujini Kongshi Chute Chendro Med Zombo in the Zombo Ronde Doromas, Yajin and Roya Manero. Chala in a Pitabo Gana Chusha on Chimado, Yajin and Roya.
So if we become a follower of that particular category of the practitioners, then it is hard to tell that the development of mental quality is extremely difficult, because we will not be able to make a mental quality, the quality of mental, the development of mental quality.
The Jesse Karishi was an Tepazija and Dronamado, you didn't Cheba Majaina, Ranja de Kanzaka.
The reason why I'm saying this is because if one follows mere faith and is becoming a faith follower alone, will not really give you a change or the transformation of your own mind. If one is unable to take a critical analysis of the teachings, then you will not be able to make your mind quality mind better. So Che in Tibetan, which is translation from original term Sanskrit Dharma, Che, that literally means to modify or to transform or to change. What needs to be transformed is to transform one's mind towards betterment. So what is meant by mind is here referring to the mind here referring to the consciousness, the primary consciousness that needs to be transformed or changed. So this too, the transformation of one's mind, must be done on the basis of fact. Analyzing and applying a critical reasonings. So therefore, one's transformation of mind must take on the basis of the fact. So the reasoning and the faith must go hand in hand. It is not sufficient just by going through a critical analysis and not having a faith. And then similarly, it is not sufficient to have mere faith without going through a critical analysis of the teachings of the Buddha. So here, the way in which that we are applying a method to bringing about transformation of one's own mind is based on the skillful means or the method that is taught by the Buddha. It is therefore, at this point, we must try our best to cultivate a genuine faith towards the Buddha, and at the same time to cultivate compassion towards other sentient beings. With these two, the combination of these two, then we will engage in the practice of the Dharma or receiving of the teachings of the Dharma.
Dundri chi chu chini jawa jona chu shingen yana la chi ripa somo da wachi samba lulu da wachi chu nyungen yana la chi nongchu yabo da wachi da samba la shiwa chi hego.
So if one is able to cultivate such motivations of cultivation of a genuine faith towards the founding teacher Buddha Shakyamuni and compassion towards all other sentient beings, with this, if we were able to cultivate these two motivations, then listening to the teachings, and from the teacher, even the teachers whose teachings is based on those cultivation of those two motivations, then will be more beneficial to the listeners. And from the listener side, if you are listening to your teachings of the Dharma with these two aspirations or the two motivations, then you are you will be really able to bring these teachings, receiving of these teachings, will it'll become an antidote for transformation of your own mind. So for this purpose, cultivating faith and cultivating compassion, faith towards Buddha and cultivating compassion towards other sentient beings, we try to generate this two within our mind and focus this, and let's meditate on this for 3 minutes.
단도 등도 얘기는 치바지 정원에 가슴 바셔 있죠네 상조 람 rim Chenmo 상조 람 저런 바스
So with this proper motivations, the teaching that we are receiving is the great theories on the stages of the path to enlightenment.
다 상추랑지는 봐 산에래 땅가서 되는 거 중에 심한 로고 바데 고 춘이를 너도 매래로 대리네 존대로 다 대리네 존대 다 심한 마음 버진 로고 바데 춘이래.
The stages, when speaking about the stages to the path to enlightenment, it actually shows us how to begin on the journey, a spiritual journey, to the complete state of non-abiding nirvana. So this is the fact, and how we should follow our path, spiritual path, from the beginning and all the way to the end.
다 간론도 지 당샤가 임베 아니 간론도 당게 민세나 이 소소게 라오야 바치는 로게 임베 세테 소소라 바로.
So now here, the reason why we are engaging in the practice and listening to the teachings is to have a in a rebirth, to have a control by one's own self, without giving a chance to control by others. In other words, other here referring to one's own, karma and delusions.
다 간론도 지 당게 미로. 아니 간론도 지 당게 미 저하시만 연지 미지 다도 미 고반지 탑이지 제기 인사라서나 아니 상조랑 지른 바노게 아니 주비총이랑 지른 바 배전체 미 대자.
So now I will not let my rebirth go wherever it goes, or wherever it takes. If you have this kind of motivations, and if you are looking for having a higher rebirth in your future life, such as human, deva and demigods and so on, then you must begin from engaging in the practice or the teachings of the Lam Rim of small capacities.
다 델미 니 저하시만 변절로 코아생인데다 가잖아 동네 라지면도 문도 오늘 타바생이지 마탄 턱문도 생이게 아니 자기 지대와이나 다 상조랑전의 집이 주변 전기 꼴때라는 배전제지.
So then again, just by having the rebirth in the high realms alone is not sufficient. If you are not contented by just having a rebirth in the high realms, and looking for beyond taking rebirth in the high realms, then you must follow the teachings according to the Lam Rim, in the middling stage of Lam Rim Chenmo, or the middling capacities or the middling scopes, the practice of the middling scopes, to gain liberation from samsara. So at this particular point, we are on the middling stage. We're on the middling stage. The great teacher is on the stage of the path of the middling stage. So the four major outlines of the Lam Rim Chenmo, that teaches on the path to enlightenment.
중국 셈바 땜베신 제밥이 차와 생이더와 최대 공야 야보인비 된다라 아니 제밥을 쓰레서네 아니 되게 되는 양식제 되지.
So to show the authenticities of the teachings, the greatness of the teacher has been shown.
아니 이바데 아니 땜바볼 주부 담바데 된도 자체 뭐지나 그 추송비 될 치치 가려야래서 이바.
So next is the characteristic of the teachings of the Lam Rim itself.
아니 딘두기 최대 자체 뭐야나 시디 간저시고 뇌디 간리냐고 그러잖아.
Since the Dharma, since such a teaching is so precious, then how can one teach this Dharma, the precious Dharma, and how can one listen to this precious Dharma?
다 자기 사지 제법의 종의지대.
So then we will then follow the actual teachings of the Lam Rim Chenmo.
되지. 당연히 제법만 로샤 그러다. Say such a batero carsa, the Dambanga Lama Chitati Rimbala near did my lunches was anything beside the 10 and Rochetaja Rimba. Tangasogi said the Lojo in our country go to the Puguchunju, the Tomakanin go to Gosen, Lojan go to Goteroa. Puguteki detail several Takanji Korogi, Metsedi, so in the Langi Tandala, in Chimichi Lojan go to Gos.
So, regardless of who were all walks of life, that if we must begin from learning, whether it is in the education field or whatever, the arts or whatever it may be, so we must begin our journey from learning. So in order to, so again, to learn, it is important to rely upon authentic teacher. So this is what we call the relying upon the teacher is the root of one's spiritual path. So having relied upon the teacher, then one must engage in the receiving of the teaching, the stages of the teachings of the Dharma. So this is how we, organize ourselves, systematically to study the Dharma. It is very helpful that if you can, try to organize all the major outlines of the Lam Rim Chenmo, and not only just you are memorizing or you're just reading through, but try to contemplate upon the meaning of those outlines. So you will see, it's a very significant change if you're able to follow those outlines by contemplating upon the meaning of those outlines, and you will be able to see a significant change in terms of development of your own spiritual practice. So this is how we lay the foundation of our practice of the Dharma. So now we are on the page 324. Page 324. It's a second paragraph.
Mete sacha kando go and mete American rogo area said Hegoro. Juban drink the condo go area salosona, Juban drink the crossing del Dutan Tapatawi said Roa. Aletom Teshevache. Any kind of go said Yacha.
So what is important for here to understand is what is meant by the middling scopes of the practitioners. The middling scope of the practitioner is the objective of the middling scope of the practitioners is to gain liberation from samsara. Just like where you are going, before you actually engage in going somewhere, you have the objective, or you have the idea of your destination. Similarly, when you're engaging in the practice of following the practice of the middling stage, your objective is to gain liberation from samsara. So if you are longing to have a high rebirth in your future life, then your main objective is to following the law of cause and effect, having a genuine appreciation to the law of cause and effect. So then if you are, if you long to achieve liberations, having a genuine desire to achieve liberations, then you have to look for the remedy to uproot the root of cyclic existence, which is the grasping at self or person. So here it says now, how their significance is summarized. It says, you should understand well, as explained above. So first, let's go through the three principles of the path. First, one must understand renunciations, what is meant by renunciations, and then bodhicitta, and what is meant by bodhicitta, and then perfect view of emptiness, and what is meant by perfect view of emptiness.
So
at this particular point, we're dealing with renunciations, the practice of renunciations. In this middling scope, the practitioner of the middling scope is actually emphasized on how to cultivate genuine renunciation. So, Nyejung or Nyeperjungwa in Tibetan term Nyeperjungwa is to literally means that you are seeing, able to find. So it's Nyeperjungwa is a definite emergence. What is meant by the definite emergence is that you must employ this, a strong disenchantment towards the characteristic of cyclic existence. By understanding the nature of cyclic existence, if you're able to penetrate insight into the nature of cyclic existence, then you'll be able to generate disenchantment towards cyclic existence. That is what is meant by Nyeperjungwa, or the renunciation in English. So now let's read through these paragraphs. You should understand well, as explained above, how cyclic existence, the aggregates of suffering, is formed through the power of its origin, karma, and afflictions, and in particular, how the will of existence turn in the context of 12 factors. Understanding this and becoming familiar with the destroying the unbearable gloom of confusion, the root of problems, and it eradicates all the mistaken views holding external and internal conception, compositional activities to arise causelessly or from incompatible cause. It increases the precious wealth of the treasure of the conqueror's teaching, and it is what motivates you towards the path of liberations through exact knowledge of the characteristic of the cyclic existence and intense disenchantment with them. So it is the best means for activating the latent propensity by which you will attain the sublime state of the noble beings. So Master Nagarjuna said, and this dependent arising is the profound treasure in the storehouse of the conquered speech. The base of discipline states that it was the custom of the excellent peers Sariputra and Moggallana occasionally to travel among the 5 kinds of beings. After they have traveled there, they would turn to Jambudeva and recount the suffering of these beings to the 4 types of the Buddha's followers. Some among the followers lived either with or near near some person who disdained pure conduct. The followers brought them before the excellent peers, who instructed them in these accounts of the suffering of other realms. As a result of these instructions, they come to delight in the pure conduct and were brought to a higher understanding as well. So what is meant by this dependent arising is a profound treasure in the storehouse of the conquered speech. That suggests that without depending upon the teachings of the dependent arisings, it is not possible for one to gain liberations. It is based on a genuine appreciation to the dependent originations who are engaging in the practice of the Dhamma. Because if there is no dependent arisings, and it is pointless to engage in the practice of the Dhamma. Right from the beginning of our practice of the small scope all the way to the great scopes, our practice must be done on the basis of having a genuine appreciation to the dependent arising, dependent originations, and it is through understanding of dependent originations one appreciates the law of cause and effect. So it is dependent upon what kind of cause that we may have created the result is given. The result is actually in concordant to its own cause. There is no such a result that is discordant to its cause. So here, if you go a further understanding of dependent arising, so dependent arising must not, one's understanding of dependent arising must not limit only on the cause and effect, or the cause and result. So then if you go further, reflecting upon the subtle level of the dependent arising, is then you're actually reflecting upon all phenomena. The existence of the phenomena is mere imputed by concept and term, and they do not withstand without depending upon any other factors, and their very identity or their very existence is mere imputed by concept and term, and which, if you are able to reflect upon those line of dependent arising, then you are reflecting upon the subtle level of dependent arisings. If you are accepting the dependent arisings, then your acceptance of the dependent arising will not be invalidated by any kind of reasonings. There is no valid reasonings to invalidate your acceptance of dependent arising of phenomena. It is therefore the keynote that is expressed by Lam Rim Chenmo in the three principles of the path. Instead of saying one must exert an effort to understand emptiness, he in fact said one must exert an effort to understand dependent arisings. So therefore, Buddha stated that if one go beyond the dependent arising, then we are going beyond the fact. If you go beyond the fact, then everything that you understand is an erroneous understanding of things in event. So it's a treasure house, it's called. The teachings of the Dharma is said to be a treasure house of the dependent arisings. What do you really think about if I say that teachings of the dependent arising is a treasure? What do you think about it? So there won't be any phenomena, even a single phenomena, which is not a dependent arising, which is not dependently interdependence. If you look at our day-to-day, usage, that the resources that we use, such as clothing, food, shelter, and so on, those are not really. All of these are not beyond dependent arisings.
다 딘주기 땡제네 zon대로 로이 야 장지만도 유딘의 여만에 세디 오미랑 세디 땡제 참모 말려 봐도 다
So then, based on this, the gross level of understanding of dependent arising, then when we go to the subtle level of dependent arising, and everything that exists is mere imputed by term and concepts. So if you're able to hold on this kind of view, then you're on the view of what we call the middle way.
수 라바치 제요디 센데이 로 도고 다타고 당세고라 단 론도 년송이네 라바인 지질의 땜반에 중반에 zon데 신의 차이 다간지 타투비 참모이 바데 덴데 인산에 덴데 사모레스 라바레 살라나데
Everything that exists, which beginning from all the gross level of phenomena, such as our belongings, and all the way to subtlest level of phenomena, are all, under the category. It falls under the category of what we call the dependent arisings.
대체 최종인데로 과 랜드로 몸물루르게 손데 엔텐전 저완저한테 상제기 손기 아니 제비스 저기 사모데레살라도 캔사테 카르라게나.
So therefore it says, the Master Nagarjuna said that the dependent arising is a profound and treasure in the household of the conqueror's speech. So, just try to read this line and then think about it, why he has said that.
당한 소인 대거서 봐 가르쳐 버잖아. 그래서 땡데 양라 준jun거는 코아 코지지 시행바. 딘드기 코아 코지 땡데 임바 마세. 아니 단지 아니 상제 살라에 간지 오민랑지 다와서나레 신데 차이다 간지 상하지 롱세나레 창조 연수도 봐 땡데 건 조건 안 땡데라 상모선 라그로.
So it is therefore the dependent arising is said to be profound, because it is based on understanding of dependent arisings, will enables you to understand how we are revolving within the cyclic existence. Similarly, it is based on understanding of dependent arisings, how we can reverse from this cyclic existence all the way to this state of complete enlightenment, including the process of the progression of the tantric path and so forth.
저는 저기 남비 중에 서비 추추의 가래된 거라서는 땡데 송바데 이땡 그래 살아나 오늘 세대네.
If we were to ask questions, so what is the most profound teachings of the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, and the most appropriate answer to this question is the teachings of the dependent arisings.
이 전체적인 실체리당 강다지잖아요. 빠면중에 진짜 가투 거잖아. 이거비네스 땡라페바. 땡라페비 전체제.
Because it is based on the dependent arisings. Everything that is taught by the Buddha is based on fact.
당연 미게 상상 맞아 받다 로그인다. 디고 이제 가산저 로던 집안에 지려도 맞지 대달에 나와서 지는 게 반사자고 로 상상대 받. 당바나서 창실을 가신 공도 체반이 또 봐셔도사. 대tembe 나서 긴가올라 주변에 진생나 수와 당사. 당제도 추선 지답 민중의 고칸도 코이 콜로 창아봐 코유데 땡데양라 준이 당 로도 지신 송 말에 지시 송네스 델레스바 콜로 지바당 제바 외자야나 주크크와나 오데 땡데양라 준이 론중 로도니 지네 그와 제부 zon에 나랑비 세점종 자한데서 리정보선에 쇼바 자데서 땡데지 추니라 넘버 대베 파비고 번토바 송소어송도.
So let's read through the text right now. The teacher seeing this question, the teacher seeing this question, Ananda, who informed him of the reason whereupon the Buddha said, because there will not there will not always be teachers like this excellent peer. Make a painting in the gate house of the five-part wheel of the secular existence, around the circumference of which are the 12 dependent arising in the both forward and reverse progression. The wheel of the existence was then drawn. On another occasions, a painting of the Buddha was to be sent to King Odiyana. Paper 8 was sent. The 12 dependent arising is forward and reverse progression were written in the verse at the bottom. The king memorized this, and then at dawn, sitting with leg crossed and body straight, and concentrated his attention upon virtue. By forcing upon the two processes of dependent arising, he achieved the sublime state of noble being. Rinpoche thought he has completed this last time. So let's take a break here for 15 minutes. It is based on the reflection upon the reverse order and the sequential order of the 12 independent originations. The king of Odiyana gained the sublime state of noble beings. So, for us, if we are the follower or the practitioner, the practicing of the Dhamma, one must have a proper understanding of how one can, contemplate upon the sequential order of dependent originations and the reverse order of dependent originations.
다 로도 생인데 가르 도고래 네 가르래 거의 자와집에 당세면나 가르 용고 말에 양라니 반대시 절래 용고 말에 양라니 반대시 절래면나 아니 가르래 아니 가실라서 비체 이텐데 대다 용고 말어 대체디 로도 세.
So what is meant by the sequential order of dependent originations? It's because of ignorance that gives rise to its volitional act, and then consciousness and so forth. And then when you actually reflecting upon the reverse order of the dependent originations, then first how we can seize the ignorance. Ignorance here referring to the self-grasping mind, grasping at the self, or grasping at self. If you are able to eradicate the grasping at self, there will be no the volitional act. The volitional act will be ceased. If the volitional act is ceased, then the arousal of gashi, which means the aging and death, will be ceased.
There 딱 가서 마치 바우거로 싸워도 마서나 야지 원거로 하러 동복 가르치기도 간이 농추쇼기도 쓰네.
So we really have to think, why we are trapped within this cyclic existence. What is wrong with us, being trapped within the cyclic existence? We have to probe. We have to really, be careful and, try to analyze what really makes us, trapped or being within this prison of cyclic existence.
라바도 면도바 뭐지 용건도 로. 도바 뭐지 용건도 가르쳐내래. 좋아해 그러.
So then question arises here, why we are unable to achieve that we long to achieve? Why we are unable to accomplish that we long to accomplish? Why something that really comes after us, although that we don't want it? Why this is happening to us? When you have this feeling, when you really understand this, then you have to look for what is really wrong there. Where is the fault? How you need to catch that. So, in this case, now, just having faith alone, just having a faith in three jewels alone is not as sufficient. Why this is happening to us is because of not knowing or the misknowing. The misknowing and not knowing is the one that leads to all kind of suffering. So if we know there's a fire, so nobody will jump into it, right? So without knowing that we may accidentally jump into fire, but we will not jump into the fire if you know there is a fire. So what we are not knowing is we are not knowing the mode of existence of things in event. We are not knowing the dependently arises, the phenomenon that is dependently existence. If we were to walk in the darkness in the darkness without a light, then it is not easy for us to really to find a path or direction. If we were to able to dispel the darkness of ignorance, then you'll be able to find the path of wisdom. By finding the path of wisdom, just like the dispelling of the darkness in the room, this will happen. So we might claim ourselves that, well, I'm not, trapped inside the ignorance of darkness. I can see well, I can walk, I can find my own way. So that's true. You find your own way. You're right. You can see. So then you can ask a further question. But what we are not knowing is we are not knowing the cup in front of me, the actual mode of existence of the cup in front of me. That is what we do not know. So then, well, I know about the actual mode of existence of the cup in front of me. We may claim to say that because this cup can be used for drinking tea. It has a black color and so forth. So that's true too again. So then you can ask another question. So this is right, you know the color of that mouth, you know the cup that is using for what kind of, what do you use this cup for, that you know that. But then another question that here arises is that how you can really look at this cup as a dependent originations. So now let's think about the cause of the cup in front of me. If we were to think about the substantial cause, or the primary cause of this cup in front of me is said to be infinite. It is a beginningless. So do you think it is beginningless, or there might be some beginning of this substantial cause of the mug or the cup? What do you think? You might say, well, this is made in certain time, certain date, and it is made in certain country, so that you might say that might be the beginning of this particular cup.
That
so then you can analyze more. Yes, the cup is made in this particular production or the factory where they actually manufacture this kind of cups. But then if you look at what is the causes of this cup, when speaking about the causes, there are numerous causes, substantial causes, primary causes, cooperative conditions, and so forth. Just if you were to trace further of this causes and condition of this particular cup, you'll be able to trace all the way back. Finally, you will be end up relying upon the cause and effect, the karma. If you go through that, just like when speaking about the environment or the being within the environment, if you were to trace the causes of our environment, that we will trace all the way back to the karma, the cause and effect. So let's take an example of our universe, the planet Earth, in other words. In the beginning, it's completely empty space. It is all, the formation of the subtle, articles and, molecules, and then finally it forms and becomes a globe. Why this happen? What really makes this Earth become a globe, around? So the scientists would trace all the way back to the subtlest level of the particles, right? The beginning of the formation of this world. So then the next question is, how can then all this, space particles coming into, together? Why they are gathering and then forming this concrete, globe? So at this moment, at the beginning of that, formation of the world, in the beginning, the very beginning, there is no the gross level of 4 elements. It is only the most subtle level of 4 elements are there. So, as according to the Buddha Dharma, and all of this formation is coming into being as due to karma of sentient beings. So then let's go back to the cup again here. The cup that is in front of me. If someone asks me, how did you get this cup? And I would answer, simply, I brought it from the store. So then when we were talking in this way, so we're really not talking about, there's nothing to do with the karma, for us. So then according to the Dharma here, if I do not have an exclusive relationship with this particular object that in front of me, I will not become an owner of this this particular object. So we all have a karmic relationship with this particular cup in front of me. Although that appears to us as a cup in front of me exists by its own side, independently. But if you probe carefully, if you analyze carefully, there's no such cup that intrinsically exists by its own side. So this, if you have understanding of the actual mode of existence of the cup, then your attachment towards this cup, being this belongs to me and mine, of the strong attachment will not be there. So with this kind of perspective of understanding the cup being dependently originate or dependently designated, and dependent, or it is coming into being due to the dependent originations, and with this, then if all of us, when you look at this cup, if all of us have the same kind of perspective, of same kind of understanding of the actual mode of existence of the cup is mere dependent originations, then your way of looking at the cup, and then the way you have the emotional connection with the cup is completely different. So now here, the way we look at this particular cup, from the different people, the standpoint of the different people, they look at this cup in a different way, their understanding of this cup in a different way, they interpret this cup in a different way. For instance, this cup I bought it from Rinpoche bought it from maybe what do you call the store that can normally sell the second-hand things? Thrift store. Yeah, he comes from thrift store, and this cup is, it is obviously that somebody didn't want it. Somebody didn't want it, and then just, they put it in a thrift store or whatever. Thrift store. Yeah. And then I found it, and I was so excited by seeing this mug, and I liked it.
그 비네 저런다 거의 빈소리 때야 말아. 가실은 문도 먹은 요거래. 가실 말하는 저거래.
So this is the fact, Somebody will not like it and just, throw away, and somebody are going after that and not finding the things that is thrown by somebody else.
So
if this cup is so precious and something that is independently existed as a perfect mok, as it appears to myself, and nobody will throw this away. So it is all the way of thinking of this one particular object by the different perspective of different people's way of looking at different people, and has a complex interpretation, have a complex interpretation of this particular mark or the cup in front of me. So then if you are seeing this cup based on understanding of dependent originations, and your understanding of the mode of existence of this cup will not be invalidated by any reasonings. So we cannot pinpoint the mark or the cup in front of me is a good or bad. We cannot say that this is bad or this is good, because it is based on how people look at it, how you think about this particular cups. So then when you in this idea, you will see how the dependent origination is actually functioning there. So what it suggests here is now everything that we must do on the basis of understanding of dependent originations. Without following the understanding of dependent originations, we will not find a right path. Period. Taking rebirth in the lower realms, it's also based on the dependent originations. Gaining the state of liberation all the way to state of enlightenment are all coming into being due to dependent originations. So if there's no dependent originations, then it is hard to say how we will exist. How can we explain ourselves or our own mode of existence? So at this particular point, we were talking more about the 12 links of dependent originations, and beginning from ignorance all the way to the aging and death. Within the one round of this cyclic existence of the dependent originations, our consciousness, may take a rebirth in the lower realms, may take a rebirth in a cyclic existence, or may take it, gain a state of liberations. So the attitude of the person of the medium capacity is really referring to the medium attitude of the person of the medium capacity, referring to the renunciations. The difference between the lower vehicle and the higher vehicle is made on the basis of whether or not individual has generated a bodhicitta or not. There's nothing to do with wisdom realizing emptiness. Wisdom realizing emptiness is needed for both lower vehicle and the higher vehicle.
다 somba nipa samba de chibi tsene sa deta dunghe dang kinjung ni dang tenre yangla junin ji go ne koi tseni hid sheba na sa deta dowan de pa dang deni nyawa sheba tonde jongwa zana zane ngenju gi samba zang yin me jang de zang ju me chu be ripa ju ji be ripa les.
So then here the attitude of person of medium capacities, the measure of the determination to be free and dispelling misconceptions. The measure of the determination to be free, you must understand in detail the characteristic of the cyclic existence, both by way of suffering and its origin, and the way of 12 factors of the dependent arisings. Once you understand these characteristics, you will develop a desire to abandon and to quell sufferings and its origins. At this point, although you may have a simple determination to be free, you should not be satisfied merely with this. Hence, the Chandrakriti's commentary on the 60 stanzas, 60 stanzas of the reasoning says,
다대로 땅가서 해게 가르래 아니 가서게 가르사 뒤중 가서 연다 전에 덴바시에서 지시고 때려 연라 중에서 지시고 가르시고요. 저러 소소 저하지 그 시바지제.
So what is important for us is to know, not just going through this, just by reading through this 12 links of dependent originations, try to ask the question to ourselves, what really teaches us these 12 links of dependent originations? What makes us aware by understanding these 12 links of dependent originations?
딘두기 메타바데 줄루기 타니레마도 은비네스데 네바케 마로와슬로 베질로 덴데라 그러면서 그러와 단다지 덴바시세에 덴데야나 주니세에 줄루기 타니지레마도 은비네스네바 마레스 베지 도바 슈첨모 용초거래. People
might have a doubt of that, because this 12 links of dependent originations and and the 4 noble truths are just a business of the Buddhist practitioners. It has nothing to do with reality. The people might have this kind of doubt.
딘두기 로유디 사나 가르동 그래. 아니 동해 덴바 동 견주 덴바 생인데 아니 코와 생인데라 꼬라장에 데레도스.
So when this kind of doubt arises in oneself, then one should ask the question, how the suffering coming into being? Is there a causes that give rise to suffering? And how these causes of suffering enables one to revolve within this cyclic existence uncontrollably?
동해 덴바다 견주 덴바도 요나 아니 덴데 양라 중에 꼬라테 자기도 시체로.
Since there is a cause and its suffering, with this too, then leads to the revolving of 12 links of different originations.
다 동해 덴바도 견주 덴바도 매버 차소나 아니 랑제 덴바도 고비 덴바세 타바다 타지신 발에 야도도.
So then the next question that one may ask here is, if you are able to seize the cause of sufferings, by seizing the cause of suffering, then one will be able to seize the sufferings. With this seizing of cause and its suffering and its cause, one then gain the cessations and the path leading to it. So therefore, first one must think about the cyclic existence and try to find the faults, the fallacies of the cyclic existence. So just mere understanding the faults of cyclic existence and having a desire to achieve liberation alone is not sufficient. It's not adequate, I think.
단징에 된다라 외디 응비네시 대통마스 응비네시 텐데 칸데레서나 인지미지 텐데 하나 중에 통마 동보 단세 마리 바생이 된 건지 제토와이나 아니 마리 바용이 가려 용거를 써야 된 건지 제토를 응비네시 네빈 대시 텐데 제토를.
So therefore, first we begin from how that's ignorance coming into being. How the ignorance lead to oneself to really look at things in event.
로 네 뭐쳐도 시디 소설지 펜나서네 히어다 로 소설지 라로 전화선 히어로 주시디 소설의 계속으로 때스지 라로 산나서네 히어로 마도 코멘도 샤드다.
The reason I'm going through this is because my purpose of going detailed explanation of this is to benefit whoever is interested in practicing Dharma may have benefits out of my explanation. So let's talk about the ignorance, the self-grasping mind. So when you think about I or self, what do you really think about it? How do you really look at self or I? What is the mode of self or I? That is very important to understand. We might see that, claim boldly that my way of looking at myself, I know myself, and my way of looking at myself, my understanding of the mode of existence of myself is something that is completely right. We may boldly claim that. So then if this is the case, then try to, really analyze furthermore, the way of understanding of self by yourself. How do you actually pinpoint the self? Where is the self? What do you mean by the self or I? Where it is? But in reality, the self does not exist by way of we perceived. The self does not really exist as it appears to ourselves. Although we cherish self, we really think that self is the most precious thing for us. Yet at the same time, we are not recognizing that self. Our way of understanding self is an erroneous way of understanding self, erroneous way of looking at self. So up until now, from the beginning of time, we have a sense of others and sense of self. Sense of others, we're kind of keeping ourselves distance from the others. When it comes to the sense of self, we have a strong attachment and treasure that self. But yet at the same time, when having too much attached to ourself that does not exist at all. So this is how you always analyze yourself. When you think about self. So if we think that self is very important, it is something that is so precious, then we need to identify the real self. Without finding the real self, and if you are treasuring something that does not exist, I don't think that's really wise. Just think about that. It is due to the misunderstanding of the self, right from one's own self, from one's family level to the global. All the problems are given rise by the mistaken way of identifying the self.
지기 니다 동저 전으로 저런 아디 가리는 단다랑 떼셔마다 게 니다 동을 가르치게 나가서로.
So if someone comes and tells you that if you are not going to find out the self, I'm going to beat you with the stick, and what will you do? How can we find the self?
In trouble.
So how, you know, how can we identify that self now?
다 괜찮아요. 다 알고 다 된지지. 다만로가 다 리포트 제 발에서 막 로테 찬찬이 자기 리포트 제 발에제 사소 메타니지 메로도 바요안 두바네 친로도 바이 나도 추바 젠도 녀바 텔레 나원 되지 시송바 당사 제다 좀바네 좀라레스 시소 아 정바다 멤버이 친도 추바 당사 좀라 추비 좀네 대다를 면되지 대단에 타원 되비 로장 제바 대답 로이 치장의 제바 샤신스 대내장 제배도 당고서 삼바데 샤라에 송바다서 신질라더비 셰진 카나 파이에 메와 시레 민두나 코이 죽균중 민도바다 따와양 대당 자와시무 대단한 도킹가 병고바 타바 되는니와양 대당 자스 대시르 타빌랑라 두바 시반도 바탄 시장던 조신사 선진 연 코와 창비 동네 메즈비니 제양 원사메라스 라나미비 상주지 셈마죠바 이구바 시니비 슈제양 메제베 테바침보양 시기 젠정이 고와장된 조와 예노 대난 쟁기 초건데 대다사 담비 티도 존에 장고소 손도 대바로샤지.
Let's go through the reading of the text now. The commentaries on the 60 standards of the reasonings. Yogdishastika Varti says, once you are certain in the living in the three levels of cyclic existence, impermanence blazing fire is like entering a burning house. We want to escape it. And as it cited previously, just as when the chance arises for prisoners to flee from prison, develop an attitude about cyclic existence, like those who feel aversion for their confinement in the blazing house or the prison, and want to escape. Then progressively increase their feelings of aversion and desire to escape. Sharava described a superficial determination to be free as being like when you pour a powder onto an inferior beer, the powder forms just a thin layer on the surface. If your ability to see the superficial like this, then your search for liberations, the cessation of suffering, and its origin will be the same. Likewise, your desire to attain the path to liberations will be mere words. Thus, you will not be able to develop either the compassion that cannot bear to see the suffering of living beings in the cyclic existence, or the uncontrived spirit of unsurpassed enlightenment that instills you with strength. Hence, your understanding of the Mahayana will also be merely intellectual. Therefore, you must practice these teachings for the person of medium capacity and regard them as a crucial instructions. So, next I will be explaining more about renunciations. Next teachings. So now we will dedicate our merits that we have accumulated today. Just try to think about that. What has gone wrong from the beginningless time up until now is not understanding the dependent originations in sequential order and the reverse order of the dependent originations, and not understanding the Four Noble Truths. It is because of that we are, uncontrollably revolving within the cyclic existence, unable to free ourselves from the prison of the cyclic existence. So from now on, by receiving the teachings and studying the Buddha Dharma, I will try my best to understand the meaning of the dependent originations, both reverse and the sequential order, and to understand the Four Noble Truths. And may all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas bless me to be able to do this for the benefit of all other sentient beings.
Lu Song Shi Bin Jia Wa Dang Jing Ji Mo Wa Gang La Chu Du Nga Ba De Da Jin Ge Yue Za Wa De Gun Jiang Zong Bo Xu Ji Rao Du Ngo Wa